Well, after 10 long years, Digimon Tri has finally returned for me. After being a long-time fan of Digimon and growing up with it, I couldn't wait to see Digimon Tri and how they would continue the adventures of our main tamers. And did they pull off a good job? I absolutely think so. Even though some of the pacing is a little bit slow at times, some of the comedic moments that happen in this movie or set of episodes was utterly fantastic. And this review will have spoilers, so in the description below, I'll send a link to where you can see the 4 episodes that are part of the full Digimon Tri set. So, with that being said, this is a spoiler review, and as we begin our adventure, we see that Alphamon has taken out the Season 2 new tamers and has sending his minions to do bad stuff. And while that's going on, we see that our tamers are trying to live their normal lives, trying to get through high school and the such. And each character is going through their own situations. Um, and as soon as Digimon start to appear, such as Gabuterimon, digital things start messing around with their technology, and we see that there are certain, I guess they're FBI agents or agents that just happen to know what's going on, start to head out for these tamers as we see Tai going out and trying to stop Gabuterimon by himself, and then Agumon finally appears to save him. And we get our battle sequence where Agumon and his team all digivolve and take out the 3 Gabuterimons as 2 more appear, and they battle it out. And I gotta say, the animation of this movie is utterly fantastic. It is amazing to see how far they come in animating each movement and making each tamer feel alive. As I said in the beginning, I really appreciated the comedic timing, especially from the character Mimi. She absolutely stole the movie for me. She was the funniest character, and even some of the other aspects, like Joe having a girlfriend, and then the 3 females are like, "What?" And even Izzy's like, "What? You have a. It's not a human, is it? That can't be right." Things like that, just comedic gold. They know that Digimon's a bit silly, so they actually play with the fact that there's comedic moments waiting. But what surpasses that for me is that they make Tai, the main character, have a bit more weight to him in this movie. The weight of seeing all this destruction is actually getting to him this time around, and I think that's probably the most important part of this entire movie, is seeing Tai start to go through a transformation. He finally sees that as the leader, he has the biggest responsibility of the tamers, and seeing all this destruction around him, he really doesn't want that to happen anymore, um, because he knows that he has the potential to get someone hurt, or has, he says in the movie, potentially get someone killed. So I think that's a really interesting decision. Probably the smartest one with him being the leader. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. And then we get to see Alphamon, who we know took out the Season 2 Tamers from the beginning. Um, and we see Tai and Matt finally come together. Tai is finally realizing that this big guy who doesn't say anything is an absolute threat, has to be stopped. And then they digivolve into the Royal Knight known as Omegamon. So it's Omegamon versus Alphamon, and Alphamon just like, he's like, "Nope, I'm not having any of that," after a pretty epic battle. So the ending, we see that one of the new tamers that's a part of this, and her Digimon, who's another cat Digimon, has joined them at the very end. Now, her role isn't all that great, at least for this movie, but I am aware that there is more to come after this. So I want to see more of her character, especially since they didn't really flesh her out all too much in this. She seems to be a new student from a different area, and I think they're setting her up to be Ty's uh, future love interest, if I remember the end of season 2 correctly. Like when you see them all in the future, and we know that Matt ends up with Sora, and I believe it's Izzy and Mimi that end up together or whatever. Like they set all that up here, so I think that's where they're going with this. I'm gonna give the movie a 9 out of 10. I believe this is a return to form in its purity, even with its slow pacing. I believe that this movie has done justice to its original source material and has made it more interesting to watch with its beautiful animation and its real consideration of how these characters have evolved. I really appreciate that, and I want to see more of the badass that is Elfman. I want to see him do more or say something to give him even more of a gravitas of being an evil guy other than taking out the season 2 tamers. That impacts us as the audience, but the tamers didn't see that, so they don't even know that that happened. So I can't wait to see what happens next. I absolutely love this movie. I think it's fantastic. And if you have not seen it yet, I would highly recommend it, especially if you are a fan of the original Digimon. It plays so much onto the original. It knows exactly where to go. Um, so I'm really glad that the series of Digimon, at least, has been maintaining its level of deepness. So, with all that said, this has been Thomas Sicily Jr., aka Mustache Tom, and I'll see you guys next time.